This d4 gambit is a game changer. I'm talking about my newly developed Alapin-Diemer gambit. Why am I not calling this the Blackmar-Diemer? Because I do not intend to play pawn to f3. In other words, I do not intend to go into the typical Blackmar-Diemer stuff. I just want to start attacking this pawn on e4 right away with the moves knight c3 and queen e2 given a chance in the near future. And the whole idea is to get rid of the defender of the pawn on e4. If need be, take it, and then go queen e2. As I said in my first tutorial video, queen takes d4 is always a long-term positional error due to queen b5 check. Look at this and this. In today's video, the battle continues. I'll be testing this gambit against real chess players on Lichess. By the way, this kind of reminds me of the tennis on gambit or the reversed England gambit, where we first of all play knight f3, and after d5 we go pawn to e4. If pawn takes, we go knight g5, wanting to get back that pawn. And sometimes black defends the e4 pawn with the move bishop f5. Knight f6 is also playable, but that just leads to a nasty trap in the tennis on gambit. They try bishop f5, and now this is when you can go queen e2 if you want, so that if they follow it up with knight f6, you simply give a check on b5 like this. Queen b5 check, same stuff, same death. And one little trap that is in this tennis on gambit line is where black looks with the bishop, and after we take, they go bishop c6, and then we go bishop b5, pinning their bishop to their own king so that they do not take our queen. I've seen some amateur players playing queen d7, trying to renew a threat, maybe kind of stopping us from capturing their rook on a8, but this only leads to a quick checkmate after bishop takes, because again, if they try to defend their rook indirectly like that, we have mate in one. By the way, bear in mind that the reason why I'm calling this the Alapin-Diemer gambit instead of just the Blackmar-Diemer is that I feel it has potential to transpose or get back to the Alapin gambit. What am I talking about? In this position, after pawn to e4, black has an option to play knight f6 first instead of pawn to d5. Let me explain. After d4, instead of d5 right away, black can play knight f6, after which you can follow it up with knight c3. And the moment they play d5, this is when you go pawn to e4. Same stuff. And the point is just, trying to get back to the same position that I showed you, where we put our queen on e2, go queen b5 check, next. But if this doesn't happen, you will see black taking back on e4 with a knight. And this is the line that has potential to transpose the game back to the Alapin gambit, where you should play bishop e3. And from here, your opponents will play something like bishop f5, if I'm not mistaken. After which you can go c3, queen d2, castle long, or bishop c4, whatever works for you. But I love being aggressive in this line. Since there is no knight on f6, I even play moves like g4, so that after something like bishop g6, I go pawn to h4 or knight e2. I intend to activate my knight, putting it on f4. If pawn to e5 happens, I can even play queen d2 or just h4 right away. I can even take that if I want. That's just a free pawn if you think about it. c3 is not much of a stretch. If pawn takes, you want to take back with your knight. If pawn to c5, you don't even have to exchange queens so early. You have queen a4, so that if knight c6, you take and win some material. If knight d7, this is when you play knight f5, just dominating on the board like crazy with your knight. They can't develop their dark squad bishop out due to knight takes with check, and that, look at these ideas. If bishop takes, you just achieved to eat your opponent's bishop pair. If you think about it, you still have your bishop pair and an advantage. Just a matter of time before castling long and putting some more pressure on that knight. If they castle long as well, you have moves like queen takes e4, and that, my god, now you know how deadly this can be. So this is why I'm calling it the Alapin-Diemer gambit, which is a combination of two deadly gambits, the Alapin gambit and the Blackmar-Diemer. I'm trying to make this my own. Anyway, and lastly, sometimes your opponents might not play knight f6 on move 1 or pawn to d5 right away. You may see them starting with a move pawn to e6, which has potential to transpose the game back to the French defense. And once again, this is when you can go back to the Alapin gambit stuff, where you play knight d2, start developing all your pieces in front of that misplaced pawn, or in the name of wanting to get back that pawn. If pawn to f5 ever happens, I said always play pawn to f3. That's your main move, so that if pawn takes, you take back with your g knight like this, because after that you just want to develop your pieces naturally. Bishop d6, castle shot, or don't even rush to castle shot. You have moves like queen a2. This is another key move you want to remember in the Alapin Gambit. If castle shot, you castle long to secure your king, and then start pawn storming on the king side like that. You just break open the center. When you're playing the Alapin Gambit like this, bear in mind that it's not about how many pieces you have, it's about how many active pieces you have. So we are okay sacrificing a pawn in the opening stage for quick development. Even bishop g5 in this position works, since you are pinning the knight to the queen, not to mention that you're just one move away from recapturing that pawn, equalizing material. If they play something like rook e8 trying to defend it, you have moves like pawn to g4 or castle long. Why do I like pawn to g4 so much, you guys? Just opening up the game. If you think about it, I have knight e5, they can't take because I'm going to win some material. Once again, if let's say knight c6, I just take. If pawn takes, I can even castle short if I want, or play rook f1, but it's always safe to castle long. So you can see black always remains with the bad pawn structure in an effort to hold on to their extra pawn, or if they keep on trying harder to remain with an extra pawn. This is not a good position for black. H6, bishop takes, queen takes, rook h f1, queen g5, king b1. It's all about how many active pieces you have, not about how many pieces. Pap, queen takes g4. Material is equal and white is winning. Anyway, time for me to test a newly developed Alapin-Diemer Gambit on liches. The question that begs to be answered is, will you watch up to the end? Let's see if you're going to be that person. And hey, remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you can't, share this video for God's sake. Let's go! Pawn to e6. So it is quite obvious that my opponent wants to transpose this game back to the French. If you think about it, I guess if I play pawn to e4, they are going to play d5. Let's see. And this is why I said that Alapin-Diemer Gambit has potential to transpose the game back to the Alapin Gambit. I said this in my yesterday's video. The whole idea of the Alapin Gambit is to play knight d2, c3, queen c2, and then Fikiro your light squad bishop in an effort to want to get back that pawn. So knight d2 next, kind of forcing black to do something about this. If they play pawn to f5, you want to go f3 immediately, opening the king side. If pawn takes, you take back with your knight, develop your bishop either on b5 or on c4, even on d3, and then castle shot. You will have an active game, trust me. So now you need to start developing all your pieces in the name of attacking that misplaced pawn on a4. So queen c2, you can see what I'm doing, simple chess. So it is official, I'm going to win back this pawn. You're going to see most of your opponents playing these kinds of moves in an effort to hold on to their extra pawn, but it's just a sheer waste of time, trust me. Knight e2, I'm just one move away from putting my knight on g3 and winning back that pawn. Are we going to see bishop d6? So if you want to know how to play the new Alapin-Diemer Gambit, as I'm calling it, you also need to know how to play this Alapin Gambit, or the actual Alapin Gambit. Of course, if knight takes, so just take back. Queen h5. Who am I playing against? A 2044 rated player. No wonder why they want to win this game so fast or very easily, which can't happen. Can tell by the moves my opponent is making that they really want to win very fast, which can't happen to somebody like me, obviously a 2500 rated player. So now knight takes. You see, I've taken back that pawn which I sacrificed in the opening stage of the French easily. And this is the whole idea of playing the Alapin Gambit. You just want to play your game, not what a French player had prepared. Anyway, my bishop is not doing anything on this square, so bishop d3 is more active in my opinion. Bishop takes, I'll be glad to take back with my knight. Knight g3 looks great for me. I don't know how my opponent is going to stop this. Maybe pawn to f5. Anyway, just wanted to say, if pawn to f5 was played, I had queen takes b7. I can still take on b7 though. Oh, I see. So the main threat is bishop takes f4 in this position, if you think about it. Because if I play a lazy move like queen f3, black will take. That'll be a free piece. If I take, they will take my free light squared bishop, so I need to start with this. That was a clever move, if at all that's what my opponent had prepared. Point is, I just want to walk away with a free rook. Okay, now this is absurd. I can do this if I want. Still going to walk away with a free rook. Like this. And I can take a free pawn. There's a 2 seconds increment, so I don't need to worry about time anyway. This is a 3+2 casual match, not a rated match once again, because I don't want to kind of steal from my opponent. This is the Alapin Gambit at its best. The twin brother to this opening is the Alapin-Diemer Gambit, which I started working on yesterday. Some call it the Von Paupier or the Von Paupian, I don't know. But I call it the new Alapin Gambit because it has potential to pluck your opponent's eyeballs off the sockets. This is a clever move, just wanting to win either the knight or checkmating on g7. I don't know what my opponent can do from here. And I have 10 seconds on the clock. Will my opponent resign? Or are they going to try and flag me? Which can't happen. Very good. That's the Alapin Gambit for you guys. Let me play the last game for today and see what we are going to have on the board. Hopefully, it will be the new Alapin-Diemer Gambit. If you like what I do on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. Remember, you are doing it for the existence of this channel, or rather for this channel to survive. The more you subscribe, the more I feel motivated. Once again, we've seen the first move being played by black, knight f6, not pawn to d5. Whenever you see this, you want to play knight c3, and there's a reason. You just want to get back to d4, d5 stuff. Pawn to g6, play the burn variation of the Pirc. If pawn to d6, you go pawn to e5, and if pawn takes, you take, and then if queen takes, you take with your rook. If knight g4, you attack that knight one more time, and then play knight d5 next, just one move away from checkmating, like that. I mean, I didn't see this stuff coming, so I need to play very fast so that I save you guys time. This is just a little trap that is found in the Pirc Defense burn variation. So pawn to f6, whenever you see pawn to f6, what you want to do is to take on c7. This is check. And then just retreat your bishop back to e3. What? So right now I'm just attacking the rook. I'm going to win that. Pep, it's just a free rook. And now I can rescue my knight. So this wasn't part of my plan. I wanted to play the improved Alapin-Diemer Gambit, as I'm calling it. It looks like my opponent wanted to do something else. This is why I had to punish them where I wanted. Guarding my c2 pawn now. Seems like my opponent really wants to take that pawn. Now it is time to cruise. f4, attacking the knight. Once the knight goes by, where is that knight going to go to? I mean, it's just a free knight in all of the variations. So this was just a quick game just to punish my opponent. Anyway, I hope you guys still enjoyed the first game. By the way, if you want to learn more about the variant variation of the Pirc, simply go to my channel, browse through. You can type KaspaChess, Pirc Defense. I think you're going to see one of the videos, or you can simply watch the video that has popped up in the card above. That's how you learn chess. So you can see I wanted to play the improved Alapin-Diemer Gambit, but my opponent played something else, and so I had to try a new Gambit against the Pirc Defense, which worked to my advantage. The main trap in this position goes as follows. After knight d5, seeing that the knight is attacking the c7 pawn, most amateur players want to defend that pawn like this, forgetting that you still have bishop takes. After pawn takes, you simply have knight takes, as if you want to win the rook, but in reality you just want to checkmate on d8 like this. This is checkmate. So this is the main trap that is found in the variant variation against the Pirc. Something you can try, and it's good that this happened so that you know what to do just in case your Alapin-Diemer Gambit doesn't occur on the board. Right, let me know what you think in the comment section down below.